Hello everyone, welcome to my simple zoology class. In today's video, I'll be dealing with the topic spinal cord and also different categories, the branching of the spinal nerves and its origin. Okay, now prior to understanding the branching of the spinal nerve, we will be first understanding the structure of the spinal cord. Okay, now we know for the fact that hindbrain comprises of what? Three different regions, that is cerebellum, pons, and medulla oblongata. Now, this medulla oblongata itself is going to continue further and it is going to come out of an opening that is called as foramen of magnum. Okay, through that foramen of magnum, the medulla oblongata is going to continue itself and itself it is going to form as what? Spinal cord. Okay, I'll repeat once again. The notes is also provided, the diagram is also given over here, so need not have to worry. Medulla oblongata is going to come out of what? There is an opening that is called as foramen of magnum and it is going to continue the entire vertebral column region. We have five different categories of vertebral column, right? So it is going to continue there. Now this continued part of the medulla oblongata itself is known as what? Spinal cord. Now from where till where is our spinal cord going to extend? It is going to start from the base of the skull, that is near the occipital bone or occipital lobe, and extend till the first lumbar vertebral column. Questions on these have been frequently asked. Ensure that you remember very well. Then, looking at the diagram of the spinal cord, the upper portion is wide and lower portion is continued as a thin structure, and the name of it is called as what? Conus medullaris. Okay, this conus medullaris is going to extend itself to form a tree-like structure, and that tree-like structure is called as phylum terminale. That is the last part of the spinal cord. What is it called as? Because it is going to terminate over there, so hence the name represented as what? Phylum terminale. Then this phylum terminale region has got a group of spinal nerves present in them, and that group of spinal nerves are going to represent themselves like a horse tail. So based on that, the name is given as what? Cauda equina. We know for the fact that equina or equus is nothing but what? Our modern horse. So based on that, the name has been given, as also it is going to represent like a horse tail. So hence there are group of spinal nerves present and the name of it is called as what? Cauda equina. Question on these also have been asked. Then next important point, what is the weight of our spinal cord? The weight of the spinal cord is almost approximately about how much? 35 gram. Okay, so whatever points I've mentioned in this whole sheet, very important. Few one or two questions at least has come from this, so make sure you make a note of all these points. Okay, then coming to the next one is the actual section of the spinal cord. This is the section which I've mentioned over here. So that is the section of our spinal cord. Okay, now what is the outer matter and inner matter of our spinal cord comprises of? That is very important question that you have to remember. The outer part of the spinal cord is white. Okay, if you can see over here, this is the white one, the one which I'm showing, that is white one. Okay, so the outer portion is basically white and the inner one is gray, and you can also see the representation of the gray is something like a butterfly shaped. Okay, so the question also can come like this: what shape is it? It is butterfly shape. Which matter? Gray matter. Where is it located? On the inner side of it. So whereas the outer part of it is what color? White in color. Now you can see one, two, 3 and 4 segments present over there. So hence those 4 segments together, they are called as what? White column or funiculus. So please to remember, the outer portion is white, inner portion is gray matter, and this gray matter something like a butterfly shaped, and outer segment has got how many segments? 1, 2, 3 and 4 segments, and the name of those segments are called as white column or funiculus. Then look at the diagram carefully. The notes is also provided on your right hand side, so need not have to worry. Now these gray matters, so they are going to project to form what? Dorsal and ventral horn. So this forms the dorsal horn, this forms the ventral horn. So here you can see the extensions are to be seen. So this is our gray matter, right? The butterfly one. So here what is happening? This is the dorsal horn, this is the ventral horn. Now this dorsal horn and ventral horn is going to continue into a tube-like structure. That means tube in the sense it's a bundle of nerve fibers over there. That bundle of nerve fibers itself is called as dorsal root. If you can see over here also it is labeled. So what is happening? Dorsal horn is coming out through neurocele. Okay, it's a cavity of nerve fibers over there to form a tube-like structure, and the name of it is dorsal root. Similarly, ventral horn is coming to go out through the neurocele, form a ventral root. It is labeled over here. I hope I've made it clear so far. Now, this dorsal and ventral root, okay, or in the root of dorsal horn or in the root of ventral horn, there are ganglia to be present. Here I've mentioned what is nothing but ganglia. Ganglia is nothing but it's a collection of neuronal bodies. Okay, so hence the name is called as what? Ganglia. Now from the dorsal root there are ganglia to be present, and they are going to be called it as what? Dorsal root ganglia. Similarly on the ventral side they are going to form what? Ventral root ganglia respectively. Now what are the functions of it? Dorsal root ganglia, they are sensory, already it has been mentioned over here, and ventral root ganglia, they are going to look after either mixed also you can say, or motor or sensory in nature. Majorly it is of the motor one, or you can also say it as mixed in nature. Okay, this is one part. Over here itself I'll be telling about the reflexes of two categories. Okay, now which are those two reflexes? First of all, what is a reflex? Sudden reaction to a particular stimulus. That itself is called as what? Reflex action. Correct? Now, there are two categories. One is monosynaptic, the other one is polysynaptic. Now, what is exactly monosynaptic? I'll let you know the definition over here. In the diagram, I'll tell you how does that work out. Okay? Monosynaptic is nothing but what? Direct synapse between the sensory and the motor neuron. There is a direct connection between these two. That means the dorsal and the ventral root, there is no link in between. They are directly connected. So hence it is mono. That means no such another extra work is done. So hence it is called as what? Monosynaptic reflex. Example for that, knee jerk reflex. Similarly, for polysynaptic reflex, there is one such neuron in the center. Like how in the monosynaptic there was no such connection, here there is a connection to be present, and the name of it is called as what? Interneuron. Also similarly you can call it as what? Connector neuron. Sensory, interneuron, motor neuron, they are going to help in providing a stimulus. So what is this interneuron? It's a collection of one or more neurons over there. Okay, and example for the polysynaptic is withdrawal reflex. Okay, if you can look at the diagram over here, see the dorsal root is starting over here. For the monosynaptic, there is a synapse happening with the ventral root, and then there is a reaction to be sent. We took example of which one? Knee jerk. You are hitting the knee region with a hammer. So a sensory impulse is sent through the dorsal root, because dorsal root is sensory in nature. So they are going to form a synapse between whom? A synapse is formed between the ventral, and a ventral is going to send a motor signal to take back the legs because you're feeling hurt over there, right? Similarly, the second example is polysynaptic. We took example of which one? Withdrawal. So that means you're in the monosynaptic, you just move the leg because there was a pain in your knee region. Now you have to withdraw your leg. That means you're taking back. This is a quick reaction happening. So the dorsal root is going to send an information, form an interneuron. That means it is going to send another signal through the interneuron to withdraw your leg, and then it is sent through the motor neuron so that you can finally take back your leg because you have experienced pain over there. Okay, one such two muscles which work over here, this is very important. Okay, that is quadricep muscles, quadricep and hamstring. These two are very important to remember, that is quadricep and hamstring. Quadricep is going to contract, hamstring which is present below the thigh region is going to relax during this monosynaptic and polysynaptic reflex. I hope I've made it clear about the section of the spinal cord and how the reflexes over here work, otherwise you wouldn't be understanding. If you have liked my video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.